This is Boxing Tickets NA. We're here at the final press conference of Crocker. Felix, I'm delighted to be joined by Gerard. I'm not sure, it's still short fuse Hughes. Gerard, short Hughes Fuse. I guess obviously it's our first catch-up since obviously you're on the matchroom card here in December. I guess probably the best place to start is obviously your fight with Rudy. I'm going to be completely honest, I probably thought he would have edged the fight. When you sort of look back at it, I guess you probably watched it, what did you sort of make of the draw?
Yeah, mate, well, listen, it was a good fight. Listen, both of us took the fight early on in our careers. And yeah, listen, you know, everybody has their opinions on the fight, do you know what I mean? And listen, the only person that opinions really matter is the judge, do you know what I mean? So you can read into social media and all the rest of it, because there was a lot of talk on social media, etc. afterwards, but it was a draw, and listen, you can't look back and sort of dwell on it, do you know what I mean? It's now my duty to put that right, do you know what I mean? And listen, I've spoke to Rudy since, and it's boxing, you know what I mean? It's only a sport, so yeah, listen, thought it was a good fight, enjoyed it, and I learned a lot from it, mate, and yeah, we'll move on to the next one.
I guess for both of you, obviously Rudy had experienced obviously boxing SSE before, and I guess with these both being so young and obviously having a big occasion like a matchroom card and things like that, I guess nerves and everything else going to get the better of it. I'd probably say in some ways, did he damage your nose in the third round? It probably seemed to be halfway through with the third round. I think, you know, you sort of started to slow a wee bit, sort of. I guess when you watch it live and then you try and watch it again afterwards, you're trying to think of how did the fight go and everything else. Did you do damage to your nose in the fight?
No, friggin' no, my nose was bleeding. Fuck's sake, anybody, it's the nose, my nose, I would breathe and my nose would bleed, you know what I mean? But no, it was no damage. Listen, it was just, it was a good pace fight as well, do you know what I mean? That sort of came into it too, and as I'm saying, there was a wee bit of blood around his mouth and stuff, so do you know what I mean? It was good. I didn't feel hurt or anything at any point in it. And yeah, mate, you know, listen, friggin', well, it sets up for a bigger fight the next time around. You know what I mean?
I guess when you sort of watch it back, you know, probably say both you and Rudy would probably say you weren't at your best on the night. You know, obviously you could see mistakes from both sides. Is it, I guess, a good way? You obviously didn't get beat. You obviously didn't win. There was the draw. It gives you both these momentum, gives you that charge and stuff to everything to go again. Is that the plan? It's sort of maybe now looking to getting a rematch and maybe a title on the line next time?
100%, yeah. Obviously, listen, I'm sort of grateful for that fight, you know, because listen, especially probably him too. You learn a lot, you know. When you're in them 50-50 fights, you learn a lot about yourself, and you know, you have to sort of put them things right that you notice, and so obviously I've made a few changes since then. But even in the build up to the fight, you know, fucking from, you know, if you watch my fight, even Fela and thing, there was obviously in August. My boss had passed away, you know what I mean? So I even think I was actually speaking to you whenever there was talk of the fight. I'd actually accepted the fight, and you sort of actually had said that maybe not to take the fight, you know what I mean? So I sort of think a lot of things come into fight, mate. It's not just physical, you have to be mentally there too. And I think definitely, you know, there was stuff even going on fight week that affected my performance, do you know what I mean? But again, listen, that's life, do you know what I mean? You have to fucking get just put the head down and go through it. So listen, I think next time around I'll be a completely different fighter, and listen, I can say that and talk about it, but it's my job now to put that right, and my job to show that wasn't my best version, do you know what I mean? And I think I'm making steps daily to improve and go towards it.
I guess some people sort of look at it and go with the draw and everything else, excuses and everything else. I do know firsthand what it was like, and I sort of said, you know, it's the right time for you. You as a fighter, you want to keep your mind active and away from other things, so the only thing you want to do is to fight. I guess probably in some ways when you've had probably easier fights, you know, as you're sort of building up, obviously you're able to test yourself and know, right, what I need to improve on when you have a domestic fight like that. So probably in some ways it's probably blessing that the sort of fight ended the way it did, because it both makes you hungrier to come back from it. The change, I guess, obviously in moving down to Dublin with Pete Taylor sort of came as a surprise to me. I would sort of speak to you on and off pretty much regularly, and it sort of came about, and I'm sort of going, I didn't see it coming, but like, you're actually adding extra miles to your day. Like Ballycastle to Dublin is what, 140, 150 miles. You know, obviously Pete Taylor obviously is established, obviously Katie Taylor's dad and everything else. How's that settling in period one for you so far?
Well, I'm sort of glad that fight happened, do you know what I mean? Because listen, if just say you had won the fight, you know, you don't make any changes and you just go on you go on and just keep doing what you're doing, you know. So I'm glad that fight happened early on in my career, so I knew sort of to make changes and put things right. But yeah, listen, I'm loving down there. I'm loving down in the gym. Me and Sean go down the road every day, and it's good crack, like, and you're down there and do you know what I mean? It just needed a change, mate. You know, you're in a new gym, new environment, new people, and you're learning new things. And I think definitely, you know, even just speaking to Pete, you know, on and off about the fight, you know, there's definitely things that even I sort of, you know, what he says, and I go, frig, you know, I didn't, even myself, I probably should have been doing getting into the fight, but I wasn't. But even with my last camp with Day and all, like, I would still consider Day as a friend, do you know what I mean? There's no bad blood or nothing. And you know what I mean? And I respect everything Day did for me, you know what I mean? Because you can't leave and that, do you know what I mean? Day put his time and effort into me, and I'll always be grateful to him for that, do you know what I mean? But again, you know, it's you're the person getting into the ring, and you have to do what's best by you. Do you know what I mean? And I've made a move, and it's been probably the best move I've ever made.
I guess in some ways, obviously, you've been experiencing some of the fight week here. Were you sort of surprised yourself to see Matchroom back in Belfast so quickly? Obviously, you know, I think it's been 7-8 weeks since the last show. Lewis Crocker back again, unfortunately, just missed out making weight there. But what a start to Irish boxing for the year.
Definitely, it was actually talk about me and Rudy going on this card. It was in just think the last week in December, but me and Rudy lost. Our two cousins passed away, unfortunately, in December, so it didn't really make sense for the both of us. You know, I think that was the plan, to go out on this card. You know, that's what was being talked about. And then my cousin passed away quite just literally a week after the fight in the last fight, matchroom fight week, and then his cousin passed away, so it didn't make sense. Plus, then you have Christmas and stuff. So, yeah, you know, it was. It's good to see them back. You know, they do things properly, and do you know what I mean? And me and Rudy, the fight with me and Rudy will always be there. And listen, we'll go and we'll do what we need to do ourselves, and come back and we'll have a rematch, and the rematch will be bigger.
There's obviously another guy throwing himself in the mix there. Obviously, Kerr, he's with Ian Gauquin as well. He's obviously saying he wants a fight with either of you. I guess, you know, you've already proved you already had one domestic fight. You're happy to go in the other domestic fights, but it creates a nice wee triangle that, you know, maybe the two of them could go and fight, and you could fight the winner for the Irish title, or obviously a defence of the Celtic belt or whatever. But it gives a different landscape than just you and Rudy talking to each other. You can speak about Kerr as well.
100%. Listen, I think me and Rudy, both of us have proved that we'll fight anybody. Do you know what I mean? Like, we both fought each other there in our fights when you should be padding your record. Do you know what I mean? And we're not doing that. So it doesn't matter really who starts coming down to Super Bantam. We're both open or up for a fight. If it's on a big show and the money's right, you're going to take it. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, mate, it's interesting. You know, I don't know if Kerr's even made close to Super Bantam.
I think featherweight. I think I'm not sure if he's going to make feather for his fight now in the 17th, but I think obviously he seems like he wants to go down to Super Bantam as well. So an extra £4.
Yeah, well, it's alright saying you want to, but then you have to do it, you know what I mean? So, listen, fuck's sake, I would love to say, I could say to you now, I'm going to fight flyweight, you know what I mean, super flyweight, but you have to then go and do it. You never know, listen, he could go and maybe try and make the weight and find out that it's a wee bit much to take off and fight, you know what I mean? Because the weight cuts are as tough as the fight, you know what I mean? Sometimes if you're really taking a lot out of yourself. So, mate, I don't really look into that much, you know what I mean? Like, friggin' anybody can say what they want, you know what I mean? So, if he comes down, happy days, there's three of us to fight, and, do you know what I mean? It's not like anybody's going to avoid each other. We're fighters, and at the end of the day, you know, we fight every day in the gym, do you know what I mean? So somebody else coming in makes it more exciting, do you know what I mean? And yeah, I'll fight any of the two of them. You know, obviously with Rudy, obviously you want that one back, you want to put that right. But if Kerr comes up, let's do it. I'll fight any of them, do you know what I mean?
Just always want to speak on your manager, obviously Paddy, obviously just over 4 weeks he takes over Orlando, Florida. Obviously there's no Mickey Mouse in Orlando, Florida for that week, because obviously Paddy's going to be there. It's probably his first fight since you well, he fought in obviously the field with you as well, but obviously I guess it's for him obviously making the weight and everything else now as well. Like, you know, speaking to Jamie yesterday as well, and you know, they think of where Paddy's come through, and a lot of people doesn't think he stands a chance. Where Berlanga is looking incredible and sparring and everything else. Like, are you going to go over to Orlando, Florida fight?
Yeah, I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over to Orlando for the fight, and I can't wait. I actually can't wait to you know, it's good to have Paddy as my manager, because Paddy sort of again has took his opportunities same way that I have. You know, I've took my opportunities when I could, and he lays out the blueprint. He's laid out a blueprint for Irish boxers that don't come in with a big amateur backing. He has great contacts. I was actually just out of a meeting with Paddy there, and there's a few things been spoke about behind the scenes that's quite exciting with Paddy and Jamie. So, you know, if any of them can come off, obviously he has to get Berlanga, he get Berlanga out of the way first, but even stuff regarding myself, Paddy's always like, that's what I'm saying. I actually said to Paddy, I was like, Paddy, you have your own fight to worry about, don't be worrying about me. And he's always working behind the scenes. But no, I think Paddy can do it. You know, there's actually a clip of Berlanga being dropped, and it's the same sort of right hand Paddy throws. So, do you know what I'm saying? If Paddy can be good for 1 second, do you know what I mean? You never know. But again, Berlanga's a top operator, and Paddy's not going to be stupid. Paddy's going to go in there fully prepared, and I doubt D's going to have Paddy fully prepared too. So it'll be a good fight. And listen, if Paddy can do it, freaking hell, like he's won the lottery, hasn't he? And
he's won the channel as well.
But even for us, like Irish boxers, like we should be rooting for Paddy, because at the minute we're sort of in lull who comes back and takes the big shoes back. If Paddy wins here, it's Paddy McCrory. Do you know what I mean? And listen, there's a few names been talked about if he can beat Berlanga. Do you know what I mean? And sure, Canalo's and all the rest of it. And if he can do it, then he's the man in Belfast, and he's going to be the headline act.
Jamie Conlon obviously teased that it looks like there's going to be a Conlon boxing show at the end of March, probably in the same venues tomorrow night in the Ulster Hall. Will you be throwing your name into the hat for that? Obviously, I don't want you to speak out of turn and get yourself involved and not be on the card, but I'm guessing obviously you're just waiting now to get fight news so you can get the first fight under the way with Pete.
Yeah, that's the plan, but there's a few things other than that been talked about, which is exciting. Paddy and Jamie are sort of exploring, so I'm excited. You know, I'm sort of sometimes you have to pinch yourself. Sometimes you go, you know, is this happening? Do you know what I mean? And so there's good things that other than that have been spoke about and hopefully come through. And again, I'll be hopefully, you know, me and Paddy just spoke there. Hopefully, I can get out on that card. Do you know what I mean? But there's other things as well that hopefully, if they come through, it'll be big. It'll be massive for me.
Well, listen, thanks very much for your time as always. We'll look forward to getting some fight news.
We need to get the big man in. Come here. Get over here. We need to get him in. Come here.
Connor Burns.
Connor Burns, this is my security guard for the day, so it is.
Connor Burns, you haven't had a fight in a while. When are you getting back into camp?
I don't know yet. I'm still waiting on Paddy McCrory to sort things out with Eddie Hearn and with Katie Keeler and Gerard as well. We're hoping to get back in very soon here, so we are.
You're going to have to start calling a few boys out.
He wants Crocker. He wants Crocker?
No, I've actually wanted Michael Conlon and a couple of other boxers come forward. If they want to fight me, they need to come on the show right now today to let me know when they want to push it. Do you know what I mean?
What about Carl Frampton? You've called out Carl Frampton a few times. Are you happy with Carl now, or do you still want to fight Carl Frampton as well?
I've actually called out Carl Frampton, but Carl Frampton hasn't come back with any movement, so I'm still waiting on movement from Carl Frampton.
Do you know who he wants? I know who he wants. He wants Carl the Crusher. He wants
Carl the Crusher.
Get in here. Call him out.
Carl Crusher, I'm going to knock you clean out, boy.
Well, listen, lads, thanks very much for your time and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Morty. Thank you.
Thank you.